Hey friends, Ash here, welcome back to Gents. You see the computer, you know what that means. New fragrance time. And there's a whole lot to talk about. Some of this stuff is going to be unholy levels of expensive and others really, really cheap. So that puts it somewhere in the middle, I guess. It doesn't work that way. What do we have though? We've got new Lattafa, we've got new Risassi, we've got new Parfums de Marly, we got a new Farragamo. That one doesn't hit as hard, sorry Farragamo. And a little extra flavor, some other fragrances that we're gonna sprinkle through there as well. A whole bunch of stuff that you have to look forward to in the near future. Most of this from ifragranceofficial.com. They're linked in the description, feel free to check them out. And also an assist from scentadvice.com as well. So check them out also. First off, let's talk the Risassi, and then we'll start talking about Parfums de Marly, and there's a lot to talk about. So this new Risassi is an elixir. Go figure. I know in a video not that long ago, I asked you guys how many more elixirs you thought were gonna come out this year. I don't remember how many I said. I think I said like 4. Or I might need to readjust that. So this one is Shura Elixir. Discover Shura Elixir Pour Homme, the latest flanker of the original Shura for men, exclusive to the United Arab Emirates, until it inevitably finds its way here via discounters. Building off the signature Shura DNA, the new flanker takes it to extremes, highlighting a man's charisma and irresistible masculinity. This one has a top of mandarin, lemon, and ginger, a mid of rose, violet, and amber, and a base of patchouli, ambroxan, oud, and sandalwood. So while this is not quite as big of a line from Risassi as something like, I don't know, Hawass, or some of the other more popular fragrances out there, the original Shura does have kind of a cult following, I guess we could say, and they have deemed it worthy of the elixir treatment. Now, let's start talking PDM, because this is probably the biggest part of today's video. They have announced 3 new fragrances for men all at once, but not your typical PDM styling. So this is a new Les Extraits line of fragrances from Parfums de Marly. And I know the initial knee-jerk reaction might be, those don't look like they're real. Maybe those are AI generated. Perhaps this is a ruse. But no, everything online says and points to these being absolutely true, coming out for sale very soon, and priced at around 500 bones, which is slightly expensive. So as I said, 3 different fragrances. We're gonna tackle them one at a time, and we'll intersperse some of the other big releases in between them as well, so we're not doing them all right in a row. Obviously, PDM now trying to reach out and grab an even higher echelon of fragrance connoisseur with these releases. The question is gonna be, are they worth it? And I know a lot of you out there are already like, we'll have to see, we'll have to see. So the first one we'll talk about is Eragon. As you can see, the bottle style is different. Well, kind of different, right? The shape is familiar, it's similar, but now it has this, this 3D kind of horse feature coming out of the middle of the bottle. And the cap also very similar, only now kind of twisted, like a slight modern art interpretation of the original cap. Also, the styling of the presentation has changed. The quick write-up that we have available as of now is as such. Get ready for Eragon Extrait de Parfum, a part of the new Les Extraits for Men from Parfums de Marly, a daring olfactive signature where opulent patchouli, fiery cinnamon, and soft vanilla merge into a rich, ambery, and spicy trail, leaving behind a lasting impression of masculine elegance and a strong presence. So yeah, you probably noticed there, 3 notes. So that's great. I am assuming that as time goes on, they're probably gonna flesh these out more, right? They're basically just giving us, or at least I'm assuming, the key notes, like the focus notes for the fragrance. Because I would be shocked if they decided, you know, since we're coming out with this higher end line of fragrances that's a little more exclusive, a little more expensive, let's go ahead and start giving them only 3 notes when we've never done that before. So I would imagine there's gonna be more that comes out in the near future that fleshes these out a little bit more than what we have now. But looking at that, patchouli, cinnamon, vanilla, and then the coloration, kind of this yellow-orange hue. Obviously, it looks like this is going to be a fall and wintertime scent, which for me is what Parfums de Marly does the best. And it also keeps things pretty contemporary with vanilla and cinnamon. Vanilla is everywhere nowadays. Cinnamon used quite heavily as well. And again, me guessing the patchouli probably not going to be some like overly earthy patchouli. They actually say an opulent patchouli. It wouldn't surprise me if it's more of that semi-chocolatey patchouli, assuming you can pick it up a lot to begin with, because they do say that it has a rich, ambery, spicy trail, which leads me to believe this is going to be more of a strong, sweet, warm, sexy type of scent, which again, that's kind of what they do. And when they stray too far from that, sometimes it doesn't work out all that well, which I'm sure they're aware of. So that is the first one, Eragon Extrait. As we work through the three, let me know which sounds the best to you, because they definitely all have their own style, at least just looking at the note breakdowns and color schemes and everything. Next up, very quickly, something from Rayhan that has been announced. It is called Valhalla. Rayhan is a clone brand that's kind of been on the up and up. Their initial launches, not the hottest, but their more recent ones a lot better. And according to the write-up here, Rayhan Valhalla is a captivating floral fruity gourmand fragrance for both men and women. The scent opens with rich notes of cognac, liquor, and raspberry, leading to a heart of tonka bean, oak moss, and Bulgarian rose. The base blends warm oak, indulgent praline, and creamy sandalwood, creating a unique and irresistible fragrance experience. So just looking at that note breakdown pretty much right away, you can tell what this is going to smell similar to, and that is Angel Share Paradis. It shares pretty much all of the main notes, so yeah, you don't have to stretch your imagination too far to figure out how that's gonna smell. Of course, the question is, how close is it going to be? I would assume probably pretty close. For the most part, the Rayhan clones that I have are trying to kind of one-to-one the fragrance that they're similar to. They're not going with like a huge twist or anything like that. Of course, that could change and I could be completely wrong, but I'm assuming looking at the note breakdown and everything that it's gonna be closer to a one-to-one type situation. So something to keep your eyes on if you've been looking for an Angel Share Paradis alternative. Valhalla coming out very soon. Now let's head back into Parfums de Marly. The next one is called Carios. Hopefully I didn't butcher that too badly. Carios. The first time I saw this, I thought it just said Carlos. I was like, wait, Brooklyn fragrance lover, you're back? Rest in peace. But no, Carios. It says, get ready for Carios Extrait de Parfum, a part of the new Les Extrait for Men from Parfums de Marly. I feel like I just read that. Discover the essence of radiant elegance with luscious mandarin, aromatic red thyme, and toasted tonka beans, resulting in a sparkling scent trail with a striking character. So as you can see, with this one, it's got kind of a, what is that, like peach color scheme? Again, 3-note breakdown, red mandarin, red thyme, and tonka beans. Kind of reminds me of like infrared, Spice Bomb infrared, Spice Bomb night vision, where they used a lot of red notes in one, a lot of green notes in the other one. This one, red mandarin, red thyme. Toasted tonka. It should have been red tonka. That actually doesn't work as well, does it? And with this one, parsing the little tiny bit of information that they've given us, a sparkling scent trail with a striking character. It does make you wonder how aromatic this could potentially be with the thyme in there, if it's going to be something where you get a lot of that coming through, or if it's more so like a really sparkly, vibrant, sweet citrus, and then as it dries down, more of that tonka giving you kind of a vanilla warmth and sweetness once again. But whereas the last fragrance that we talked about, Eragon, definitely reads more like fall winter, this one is the type of scent, just looking at that 3 notes until we get the rest, who knows, but looking at those 3 notes, this could be more like an anytime type of scent. Spring, fall, summer, winter, potentially, depending on how heavy they go with the tonka. But again, I'm assuming that if it was really heavy on the tonka, that they wouldn't advertise this as a sparkling scent trail. That kind of tells me more that this is gonna be like a versatile fragrance, one that's made to be worn in neutral weather, that depending on how much you spray, you could, wear it somewhere in cool weather or warm as well. So there's one more after that one, but next let's talk about a new Lattafa. And this one kind of caught my attention because of the note breakdown, but the bottle looks really bland. And look, when it comes to cologne fragrances, we all know the deal, right? A lot of the bottles look weird or strange. Yeah, you know, that's, you know, stuff like, yeah. So I'm not saying every cologne has to look strange, but it does become something where you expect a level of opulence, tackiness. Sometimes actually they look fantastic, but yeah. This Fire on Ice looks bad, at least to me. I'm sure there's somebody out there looking at this bottle right now going, bro, the bottle is fantastic. And fair enough, fair enough. I mean, if you would rather have that than the type of bottle I just showed you, that makes sense. Discover the new Fire on Ice by Lattafa, a thrilling blend born of two extremes. Black raspberry is powerful and boozy, while frozen rose petals start sizzling in the heat. Oak moss's warmth browns the scent in depth and solidity. The perfect time is when ice turns into burning flames. That could be like a pretty crappy metal name. Ice into burning flames. We are here to destroy you. So let's go ahead and read through these notes really quickly. The full note breakdown. Top of black raspberry, cinnamon, and cognac. A mid of frozen rose petals, caramel, and moss. And a base of oak wood, myrrh, cedar, and ambroxan. I'm beginning to feel like I've talked about something similar to this already. Yeah, so Angel Share Paradise again. Yeah. And actually, I know that Fragrance World / French Avenue also released an Angel Share Paradise clone. It's Royal Blend Sequoia. That one I have on the way. I haven't smelled it yet, so who knows if it's good or bad or indifferent or whatever. But really interesting that there are now essentially 3 Angel Share Paradise alternatives that are all dropping pretty much at the same time. So there's another one for you from Lattafa. And Lattafa does do like twists a little more often, so it wouldn't surprise me if that one's got a little twist to it. Before we go forward, guys, a quick update on the Gift Express code. The code is actually staying the same, Gents15. It gets you 15% off any order over $400 now, 10% off any order under $400. The reason it's changed is because the code was originally set up as a one-time use, which kind of sucks because if you use it once, yeah, can't really save very much long-term at that point, right? So now you can use it unlimited times, but because of that, it has changed, so just be aware of that. But now if you've used it before, you try to use it again, it wasn't working, you can use it. I've gotten a lot of emails about it. All the other codes are as you see them here on the screen. The JOMASHOP codes, of course, only work within the JOMASHOP app, so be aware of that. Okay, we are to the last of the 3 new PDM fragrances. This one is called Valero. And as you can see, this one has kind of a light blue color scheme to it, almost like silver blue to an extent. Discover a world of elegance and seduction with a thrilling melange of bourbon geranium, sophisticated lavender, and enticing ambroxan, revealing a highly elegant woody fougere blend that makes a great signature scent. Now I have to tell you, just as far as the note breakdowns go, the three note breakdowns that we have so far, this one is definitely the most boring. Bourbon geranium, lavender, and ambroxan. And I'm not saying that this fragrance is gonna smell bad. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is, if you were to give somebody the most absolutely generic blue fragrance 3-note note breakdown, it would be this. Geranium and lavender are used together pretty much always. If we're talking about modern, contemporary, masculine blue fragrances. Yes, I realize modern and contemporary means the same thing. But geranium and lavender are used together all the time, right? They go hand in hand because they work really well. It's like saying, I don't know, grapefruit and ginger. You know, they work. And then ambroxan, I don't even really need to say anything. You know, I know, we all know ambroxan, amberwoods, blue fragrance time, yes. So absolutely 100%, these are going to be filled out more. This cannot be the whole note breakdown. I don't believe that for a second. I think they're gonna come out with more. This is just like the initial kind of release. But it's very apparent looking at this one that this is your spring, summertime fragrance from these three, which kind of makes sense, right? The first one, fall, winter. The second one, that one's kind of spring, fall, but you could probably pull it off winter and summer also. This one, spring, summer. It makes sense. You get one more specified here, one more specified here, and then one that you use whenever. And frankly, this is one that I'm sure you could use whenever also, a lot like Sedley or something, which is probably going to be the biggest competitor within Parfums de Marly itself for this new release. I'm sure that this will get compared to Sedley, and it'll be like, is this new one worth more than Sedley? And I'm not saying it's gonna smell the same as Sedley, but I'm saying it's probably going to overlap as far as like when you would use it, just based off of these few notes and what they say, you know, a highly elegant woody fougere blend. Now they could throw a curveball and they could throw in some really interesting notes in here that switch it up a whole lot, you know, kind of lead with this where it's like, okay, that's very clearly blue fragrance, kind of like out of the shower type scent profile. I'm sure done in a more elegant way, a more upscale way, but kind of like in that family. That's what they're leading with. So it would be kind of funny if they led with that and then they switched it up and they're like, oh, actually, here's all this other stuff that in the fragrance that makes it different. But if they don't do that, you guys know, kind of just looking right there, the direction this one's going, right? But it's smart because it does give people, you know, what they're coming for. If you're the type of person who likes Parfums de Marly's warm weather stuff, Greenlee, Sedley, Percival, etc., they got one for you. If you're the type of person that likes more Layton, Altair, it looks like they got one for you. And if you're somebody who likes a little bit of both, it looks like they got one for that too. Now there's also an Initio fragrance that was announced right alongside those ones, and it's called Can't Get Enough. It's supposed to be for men and women from what I can see, but right this minute, no notes or anything on it, so who knows? But be aware that that's coming out as well. And now we'll wrap things up with the Farragamo Sublime Leather. Farragamo refuses to let this leather line die. They also refuse to bring the Uomo line back to life. Pour one out, F's in the chat for the Uomo line. So here we go. We got a new Sublime Leather. It does not practice Santeria. Nobody got okay. Discover Sublime Leather EDP Intense by Farragamo. The fragrance is directly inspired by the intertwining textures and the sophistication of modern masculinity. The intertwining textures of masculinity. What does that even mean? A fragrance of sharp contrast, symbolizing strength and dynamism, hinting at a man's striking presence with the juxtaposition of woods combined with amber and cinnamon, leaving behind a striking impression. Hinting at a man's striking presence, a striking impression. So 3 notes, full notes will be added soon though, which makes sense because this is named Sublime Leather and the 3 notes that are out right now are cinnamon, amber, and woods. Something missing there. I can't quite put my finger on it. Sublime Leather. Now I did poke a little fun at the leather line from Farragamo, but they're solid. They're good fragrances. Bright leather, really good. Spicy leather, fantastic. And also, you know, the first one that launched that line, and intense leather, they're not bad, especially if you pick them up at discounters for a discounted rate. It makes them even better. And this one is, you know, cinnamon, amber, and woods. I kind of talked about this before. Cinnamon used pretty frequently. Amber / tonka / vanilla, also super popular. So it would not surprise me if this one comes out and it's the sweetest of the whole bunch. I would actually expect that at this point. And if it's really solid, you can probably look for it at discounters a few months after it comes out for a lower price. Get yourself something that probably not a ton of people are gonna be wearing that actually smells fantastic and it has a really good looking presentation too. So something worth keeping your eyes open for, especially if the initial word is that it's good. So there we go, guys. New fragrances. Some cheap, some expensive, and one probably in between. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. Let me know which of those 3 PDMs you're looking forward to the most. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.